What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode 147. I'm Fox2. We got Pirate,
Whoop, whoop.
who is apparently a juggalo, and the whole effing Brian.
I would have said he was a cop car.
You sound like that fucking Bub Rub video.
Sound like who what
That
video?
Bub Rub.
I don't know who Bub Rub is. Sounds familiar though.
That new barbecue sauce for
No,
steak?
that's that fucking video, that news interview with that guy in the hood. You got the whistle tips on that car. They go,
Yeah.
That's so old.
You ain't nobody supposed to be sleeping at 5 in the morning. You're supposed to be up cooking breakfast.
Yeah. Shit. So apparently
What?
not if your name is Topher, because he's not with us. Who the fuck knows where he's at?
Way to make it sound like he's dead. He's not with us.
He's no longer with us.
Hey, if you're not on the podcast, then fuck you.
You're dead to us.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people not on the podcast.
Well, you know what?
Everybody on the podcast.
They're not one of the four horsemen. Or today,
Whoa.
as we call it, the Three Musketeers.
I was gonna say there's a horseman missing. That's right.
Why do we have to be the Four Horsemen? Can't we be like the Ninja Turtles?
So if we're the four horsemen, which one's which?
I don't know.
I'm Ric Flair.
I'm Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon wasn't in the Four
I don't
Horsemen.
know.
Yeah, I don't
Dummy.
think he was.
I don't know. I thought he was in one of those
who was it, Rick?
NWOs or.
Wasn't
I'm pretty sure.
Gene Hacksaw Jim Duggan, wasn't he one of them?
No.
No, that's way before the Four Horsemen.
Who
No,
were the-
that's way after the Four Horsemen.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Yeah.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan's before the Four Horsemen.
I
No.
don't know about that, dude. The Four
Fine.
Horsemen. The Four
Yeah.
Horsemen in wrestling was a long
Arn
time
Anderson.
ago.
It was about the same time, maybe a little bit earlier than Hacksaw.
The original
Hacksaw's
Four
not-
Horsemen were Tully Blanchard, James Dillon, Dusty Rhodes, and... Wait, what? This doesn't make any sense. But there are a lot of people that apparently have been in it. Lex Luger, Barry
Yeah.
Windham, Sting, Sid Vicious.
I remembered it from the
Sounds
90s.
like Ric Flair was in the final.
He was in all of them. You could look it up on YouTube,
No, he really wasn't in all
or you
of
could
them.
pay. He was in all of them.
No, he really wasn't.
You gotta go.
I mean, there can only be four at a time.
Yeah, and he definitely was. Yeah, I don't know. He was not. He was not in the original four. Oh yeah, he was. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Told you so.
It was
Can't
Ric
argue
Flair,
with me, I'm
Arn
always right.
Anderson, Tully Blanchard,
Tony
and
Dillon
James
was
Dillon.
the manager. James Dillon was the
And then-
manager.
Yeah, James Dillon was the manager. They feuded with Dusty Rhodes. This just turned into like a WWF podcast somehow. How about
What you
that?
gonna do, brother?
Do you guys?
When you're a nerd?
Do you guys
Shit, is it-
remember? Do you guys remember back in the day the fucking cartoons that they had about like
When I
wrestling
just remember the
characters?
One
Okay.
cartoon. It had like the had Hulk Hogan, Hacksaw Jim, or not Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah, Hacksaw was in it. Hulk Hogan, Road
Rowdy Piper.
Roddy
what was it?
Piper, Junkyard
Junkyard
Dog,
Dog, yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, he was in it. I remember him from the Cindy
Like,
Lauper videos.
Rock and Roll Express or something. What they called? It was Hulk Hogan.
I thought it was something named after Hulk Hogan.
Were you guys ever in? Were you guys into wrestling when you were younger?
No, I
Yep.
was not.
Oh, I was for sure.
Like, I think it was like 7 or 8 years old when I like didn't really care about it anymore. I'm
For,
like,
for sure, like the kid down the street had a fucking trampoline, and like all of the kids would get together and we would have like giant fucking like wrestling matches on the trampoline. Tell me you never did that.
no, never did that.
Like all the fucking like crazy moves and shit, like dropping each other. We're lucky nobody died. Dropping each other on each other's heads and shit on the trampoline.
Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling was it? That's what it
Hulk
was.
Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling.
The final episode was in '86.
Did you ever do that shit, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, 100%.
One of my friend at the time's brother broke his arm. He got it caught in flipping off the trampoline. Got it caught in the part between the trampoline and
Nice.
the metal ring around it.
I believe it. I believe it. We had quite a few like, not like broken bones, but like pretty serious like twisted ankles and fucking busted up hands and shit from like falling funny and smacking your hand against the metal ring on the outside of the trampoline and shit like that. But the good old days when kids were allowed to be kids and parents weren't as nearly as afraid about them getting hurt.
The only thing that like I remember growing up with in the 80s, like as far as like concerns about danger, was that's when like all the kid kidnapping was really getting popular.
Stranger danger.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like so,
Way to bring it to something fun. To something,
It's pretty
So,
serious.
no, it's like that's the
I
only thing
almost
I
walked
ever.
into a candy van.
That's the only thing I like really remember from the 80s
for
growing up.
real. Like
It's
growing
like,
up, in
Your
the-
mom would be like, just you know what I mean, like
Just
don't
make
talk
sure-
to strangers or like don't
yeah,
get
like
any
your
rape
parents would
bans.
just like let you go out. Like it used to be like you could just go out and like fucking play outside all day doing whatever pretty much. And like it was no big deal. Now it seems like everything that you're hearing is like safety concern about this, safety concern about that. And it's like how do kids learn the limits? Like how do you ever learn where that line is of what you can do and what you can't do as far as getting hurt if you're never allowed to like go out and do some crazy fucked up shit. Like we used to make fucking bicycle ramps and shit all the goddamn time, like jumping over big fucking, like my driveway was a split driveway with a big patch of rocks like between the two driveways, and one was higher than the other, so we would build like a ramp on the top one and jump over, like pretend like we're fucking Evel Knievel and jump over. I can't tell you how many times I fell and like busted my face on the fucking concrete and shit all the time. But I feel like that, like, it makes you like respect the consequences.
It makes you respect
Respect-
concrete more.
Yeah, it makes you respect gravity. That's for goddamn sure.
1 year when we were back when I was like maybe like 13, 14, maybe even 15, they redid the curbs in my neighborhood. So for a while we would have these like 2-foot gaps, maybe even 3-foot gaps between the grass that's on the sidewalk and the street where they didn't dig. And we were just fucking, maybe many people like that I was friends with got hurt because we'd be like trying to jump that with our bikes from the apron of the driveway to that, and it was, you're nuts when you're a kid. You had no fear.
Oh, hell
Now
yeah,
we're
we-
just like,
We did all kinds of shit, man. We fucking.
There's this place. There's these woods by my house growing up. Oh, and in one of the spots in the woods, there's this giant like hole.
Is this where the
the
candy
ground.
van shows up?
No. This place was called the Dip, and it was just like basically like a giant circle, like it just dug out. There was like roots and stuff in it, but it was basically like a pipe, like a half pipe. So we would like ride our like 20-inch BMXs in it and shit like that. But then there was also trails around it that were made from riding.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point we had this great idea where there was this like double. And so we packed up more dirt on it and made it higher. And in the middle we put like a fire.
Oh
And so we
god.
would just jump in the fire, but there's not much room on the other side. So like if you thought you was gonna go in the fire, you either had to go in the fire and like try to deal with the consequences of that, or like fall off the side of this like kind of like hillside, like with all this like overgrown. So it's like either way it sucked. But like dude, yeah, I don't know how anybody didn't get hurt in that. But
yeah,
Wow.
we've had. Do you guys have sumps?
stumps, yeah, we have
Stumps.
stumps.
No, sumps. Like
Sump pumps.
I have a
Like-
sump
like
pump in my
wells?
basement.
No, I don't know I don't even know what they're used for. They're not even filled with water. Over here we have like areas within like neighborhoods that are just like I don't know what they were. I don't know. I think they were made to like for like rainwater to drain out into.
Probably to
if it,
regulate,
like,
probably
streets
to
got
regulate
flooded.
groundwater.
Is it like those cement, like looking like caves under like roadways, and then they like have like little drains through them?
Yes, but they're not cement. They're just like normal. They just look like somebody dug like a hole, not even like a hole, like a crater almost, and there's a drain pipe that goes into it, a big drain pipe, like big enough that we used to crawl through the sewers underneath the neighborhoods.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had a friend of mine. He was older than me, but I guess this was I was like maybe 13 or something when we did this, but he was probably like 16 or 17, and he was like really mechanically inclined, like fixed boats and engines, cars, dirt bikes, all kinds of shit. And we took him and I, we took an old ass bicycle, and we took an engine from a lawnmower, and we took the fucking engine off the lawnmower and mounted it, like fabricated a bracket and mounted it on the back tire so that the fucking flywheel from the motor just hit right on the fucking back tire. And it was hysterical. Like, we rigged up a fucking I don't know if you guys knew this, but really old bicycles that were geared, the gear changer wasn't like a little thumb lever. It was like a throttle on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's how it
I
was.
remember
I mean, this was, probably back in like the 60s or 70s or some shit.
that. Yeah.
But we took one of those handles and wired up an old brake wire and made a throttle cable out of it so that you could hit. Well, there was no brake, like no engine brake. So like he rode this thing and just ran it right up a fucking tree. It was because he rode it around a little bit and then like realized like, oh shit, I can't like fully stop. Like this thing's always gonna idle, and like when it's like flywheel against tire, like idling is like 6-7 miles an hour, so like a decent speed. He just fucking hit the bottom of this tree, and it was like a big tree, so it was like kind of a gradual like whoop,
So it shot
and
it up.
it just like shot the bike up in the air. Oh man. But I feel bad for today's youth because I feel like there's so many. I mean, I guess it's not true of all children growing up today.
I don't think they care. They're
But like,
content.
man, they're so much more sheltered. Like, those are some of the best experiences, like when you're doing that shit that's just, man, it's fucking sketchy. Because once you get a little bit older, to like, definitely by the time you're in your mid-20s, like, you're not going to try some of that shit because you know the consequence. You know it's going to fucking hurt if you fall. Like, it's going to hurt a lot. And just, I don't know, man. It's crazy to me to think how sheltered some parents are making their children these days.
Well, it's not only like parents that are making it. Look where like video games are at now. Kids most of the time rather sit inside and play some of these MMOs or just normal video games in general. We didn't have that. We had video games that were awesome to us back in the day, but they weren't in this magnitude to keep us inside the whole time.
No, dude. The games I grew up with were like fucking Mario, Duck Hunt.
Mario, even still, N64
Zelda.
came out when we were young, but we didn't stay inside because
Man,
of
we
it.
weren't that young.
When Nintendo 64 came out, I didn't have a job.
Yeah, what year was that? That shit was N64 release date. Yeah, that was in '96, homie. I was 12 years old.
I was driving.
Two more years, and I was already working. Actually, one more year, and I was already working. Like, we weren't that young. Super Nintendo, I guess.
Yeah, Super Nintendo's like 6th grade.
That was, I don't know, but like, I mean, and we have, like, my fiance and I, we have regular Nintendo, and Super Nintendo. We don't have an N64 yet. We're probably going to get one, but just to throw back some old video games, we've got those bitches hooked up. It's crazy how fucking hard and frustrating some of those old games are.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
god.
Well, even if you play, I played. When's the last time I played GoldenEye? Like a year ago, and just with the C buttons on, and
The fact that you
joystick.
can't look up and down.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
only left and right.
The best thing ever though was the fucking paintball mode in GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I love that. Fucking just run around. Look, by the end of the match, it's like a tie-dyed fucking
The whole
the
map.
walls and fucking.
Man. Good times, good times. All right, let's we'll stop sandbagging. We'll get into some news. Not a ton of stuff, but enough that we can have a nice little conversation. Topher failed us. I'm not going to lie, because we actually had a video, or last week we asked our viewers if they could come up with something that Topher might not have within arm's reach, and we actually got a response on it. And I believe it was Geese Lord Zero, one of our most faithful followers.
Do you want to say it out loud? He might be able. Topher might go back and watch this, and next week he might have it at arm's length.
Nah,
he's
he's
not
not
gonna
going to watch
watch it.
this. He ain't going to watch it. Motherfucker can't even get up in time to be on it. He ain't going to watch it. So we'll ask him again next week, but for everybody that's curious, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He was, Geese Lord Zero's watching a handful of Power Rangers different things, and I think he said something about a video game. I can't remember. Maybe I should pull this up just so I'm not fucking completely butchering.
I was gonna say like, yeah, way to give a shout out and then fuck up what he's.
Well, I mean, at least I remembered. Damn.
Yeah.
Give me a little credit. Fuck. Let's see here. How do I do this shit? Oh, we got some really interesting comments last week. I'm gonna have to read you some of them. I don't know if it counts as comic book related or not, but there's a Power Rangers comic book right now, and he's
That's
gonna
still going on?
he's gonna give it a try. Yeah, apparently. And he asked, does Topher have a Green Ranger dragon dagger within arm's reach?
The
why
is
don't
that the flute?
Yeah,
the flute.
I feel like that's right up Topher's alley. That's totally.
I feel like he does. I feel like
I
he's
bet
gonna
he
like
does.
reach in his behind him, and he's gonna.
He's gonna be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's gonna pull it out and then he's gonna start playing it. We also got some comments from the Fizani Ferengi. I don't know. I butchered the shit out of that. He left
Whatever
us
we
one
say.
like or one comment and said, "I gave you a like. Could you guys write down when topics end and start?" Probably
Didn't we
not.
used to do that?
That's on you,
I'm-
Fox.
I'm not gonna lie. I would like to try and do that, but that is a lot more work for a project that we just flat out we don't get paid for this. This is all this is all basically charity work. It's just for the fun of it. Maybe at some point, but right now we'll put that on the back burner. I appreciate the suggestion though. But then he also had a comment about Mel Gibson. He said, "I'm sorry, Mel Gibson might act crazy at times, but he's not wrong about the waste that Warner does with its DC slate. People are still interviewing him because he has a new movie out that critics love, but I could not watch it because it's not in theater near me. With that said, he should do the Viking movie he wanted to make instead of Christ 2.
I mean,
So, I don't know.
not too far off to the left on that one, I guess.
Good
Points.
That's somewhat reasonable, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mel Gibson still comes across as a fucking lunatic to me, but whatever.
I mean, he's definitely mellowed out since his divorce and shit. Like, I think he just had a breakdown there. Like, he was going through the divorce. His ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife had all those recordings of him going off, and there was a lot of him in the news getting made to look bad.
Him and Hulk Hogan should have a racist meeting.
I think he should be in the next Mad Max film. Just saying.
Because he's mad.
No, just because I don't know. I mean, he did kind of
Go
start
fucking
that.
crazy.
Like, I mean, he was Mad Max.
Yeah, we all go crazy once in a while. We all have our turn.
So, in case you guys didn't know, DC Cinematic Universe cast their Deathstroke, and it is going to be Joe Manganiello, I think is how you say it.
I thought it was Manganiello. Manganiello.
It's Manganiello. So, however you fucking say that one.
Majanelli.
So Manu Bennett took to Twitter and kind of fired some shots, saying that if he was going to be playing Deathstroke, then Manu Bennett would go ahead and take over and do the next Magic Mike, because Joe Manganiello was one of the actors from Magic Mike, the original Magic Mike, I think. That's what it said in the article I found. The funny thing about this to me, though, is that this dude, Google that guy's name real quick, Pirate. This dude looks so similar to Manu Bennett.
Oh, yeah. I've seen him.
So
Yeah. He's just
similar.
like a smaller cut dude, yeah.
I mean, he's really muscular, just like Manu Bennett. He in the face, though. That's what really gets me, is like their facial features are so fucking similar. It's like, why didn't you just go ahead and use the dude?
We got a pronunciation.
Okay.
It's Manganiello.
Manganiello. What?
It's MANG
Yeah.
apostrophe G upside down backward E apostrophe
Manganiello.
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 Italian
Anyway.
pronunciation.
Regardless, I think it's just funny. Like, I don't understand why. Like, obviously, I mean, I guess I get it from the aspect they don't want their cinematic and television universes to cross. Blah 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 blah.
That and here's the thing:
The
what
Deathstroke
movie
story in Arrow is done. It's over. You can't beat that. You don't want to beat that drum very much at all anymore, if at all.
Well, it's done because of Manu Bennett.
So if he's not going to be in the TV show, why not take him and put him in the movie? Like, dude killed it. He was a good Deathstroke. He really was.
He was.
I thought he was a really good Deathstroke. He's obviously already researched the character. He knows, about the character, how to play the character. And he fucking looks just like the guy that you picked. Like, this is a home run. Why chance it?
Well, because here's why it is. Manu Bennett, what movies has he been in?
Does it matter?
Apparently it does to Hollywood, because they seem to pass over TV shows for fucking no like.
I mean, I guess that's.
That happens all the time. But like, he's been in a lot of good. He's been in both the Magic Mike movies. He's been in. So I mean, you're gonna draw in a lot more chicks to your market than you.
Yeah,
would.
but are you really though?
I don't know. I mean,
I can't imagine that.
It seems to be a pretty popular franchise. He was also
yeah, but I just don't. They're not gonna advertise. They're not gonna advertise the Batman movie as like Batman with Joe Manganiello from Magic Mike playing Deathstroke. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, people might see that in the comment, or you're sitting around with your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. She's like, "Oh, that's the dude. He was in Magic Mike." You know what I mean?
He's gonna be wearing a fucking mask.
Is he all the time?
I bet most of the time.
Slade
probably not
always.
Probably not all the time. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So I mean, he's been in some good movies. He was in Behind Enemy Lines. Oh no, he was in the second Behind Enemy Lines.
Oh, the shitty one.
Yeah, never mind.
Who are you talking about?
We're talking about Joe Manganiello, the guy that is playing Deathstroke in cinematic universe that looks exactly like Manu Bennett, and we just don't understand why they didn't just go and pick Manu Bennett.
He looks. You guys think he looks like Manu Bennett?
Fuck yes.
With his hair, if you go to his Wikipedia page,
his face
with
and
his
stuff.
short hair, he does look like him. When he has long hair, not so much.
Well,
a little
yeah,
bit.
I mean,
but with his short hair, he does.
He's also a lot taller than Manu Bennett. Manu Bennett isn't that.
Yeah, that's true too. That's probably the
That's
exact
cool.
reason why, because you're putting these people in there with guys over 6 feet.
Yeah, that could be it, I guess.
That I guarantee you is probably.
That's a good point.
If you guys haven't read it yet somewhere, but Joe Mangalulu or whatever his name is was also Flash Thompson in the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire.
He was in 2 Spider-Mans. He was in Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3.
In other DC cinematic news, Margot Robbie has signed on to do her own solo film as Harley Quinn. I fucking called this. I called this months and months ago. I said Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is going to fucking steal the show, and I would not be surprised if they start an entire franchise around her.
Well, they'd be dumb if they
That is
didn't.
exactly what is happening. Hot Topic stores everywhere are probably paying their bills off of fucking Harley Quinn everything. This Halloween is going to be disgusting because you're going to walk anywhere and it's going to be a room full of Harley Quinns.
I mean, I wouldn't call that a disgusting thing.
I mean, it's going to be
a
pretty,
target-rich environment.
it's going to be.
I'd call it a disgusting.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty bad. I think it'll be bad enough that it'll bother even you, Pirate.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be some, but hey, you know.
I bet you won't be able to go to like a bar or a party for a Halloween event and not see at least 4 Harley Quinns.
But see, here's the thing, though. I'm not one of those people who sees somebody in a comic book costume and be like, "Oh, so you're a fan of this person?"
Well,
and then
and I get that. That's cool.
Fucking,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
no, that's especially in this day and age when comic books are so deeply embedded into pop culture right now. Like, you really don't have to read. Like, there's so many people that could be a true fan of a comic book character and never have read a single comic book at all ever.
Right, and I think
So,
that's. I mean, and there's a lot of times when people talk to me about comic book characters, or they'll have like a shirt on or something, and I'm like, "Oh, you into comic books?" They'll be like, "So, I'm really into the Flash or the Green Arrow or something or Batman." But then when you're talking to them about it, it's like all their reference points only roll into TV shows
Yeah.
or movies. You know,
I get that a lot. I get that a
point,
lot
it's
when
like-
I wear shirts out in public too, like different comic book shirts. I try to collect the ones that are not like the basic ones that everybody has.
'Cause you're not no
something
basic bitch, right?
I ain't no basic bitch. But like,
you extra.
but it's just kind of honestly, sometimes it gets a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Like when somebody's like, "Oh yeah, Superman. How much did you like that one scene in the one movie?" And it's like, fuck, man. Like just because I'm wearing a fucking, I guess it depends on what I'm doing. But like if I'm out with like my fiance and my parents or something, and we're eating dinner, like I don't want to strike up a conversation with the fucking waiter about the Flash. Like I just don't want. Like I'm having dinner with my family. Like I'm not trying to.
Why not? You can aimlessly plug our podcast.
Yeah, just shamelessly, hey, you listen to podcasts, bro? Do you even podcast?
So you like comics? So you like comic books, huh? Well, do you like listening to things with your ear holes? Because if you do, check us out.
Let us tickle
Word.
your ear pussy with our tongues.
And that's when I quit.
Right. Something's coming up that I'm gonna be looking forward to picking up. Constantine TV show is finally coming to DVD or Blu-ray on October 4th. I have no fucking idea what took so goddamn long for them to announce a release date, but they finally announced it, and it's only a couple weeks away. So I don't know if it was like distribution rights or what the like holdup was, but I personally want to pick this up. I thought the fucking Constantine TV show was awesome.
I thought it was good.
I really am shocked that they didn't.
I don't know if I finished it though.
I don't think I did either. I think that I can't remember why I didn't, but I watched the first handful of episodes every week when they came out, and I don't remember one episode that I didn't like. So this is going to be something that's definitely on my pickup list. I don't know about what about you, Brian?
Nah, I probably won't pick it up. I like the show, but
Do you think this is something that they'll
Probably
show
won't.
on Netflix, or do you think it's?
Probably they might. Well, I don't know, because it wasn't a CW show, and I know CW is big on Netflix now. That's like home of the.
Well, Gotham.
Braves.
Gotham was a Fox show, and it is a
It's
Fox
not-
show. It's on
It
Netflix.
wasn't Fox though. It wasn't Fox. It was like
Yeah, it was.
ABC. No, it was ABC or CBS,
no, it wasn't it NBC.
NBC. Yeah, it was one of those ones.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
did
it
not
wasn't
realize.
Fox.
Topher's here, but he looks really confused, and I'm not sure if he can hear us or talk. So he's here, but he just looks really stumped right now.
Maybe he's pooping his pants.
He looks like he's trying to re-engineer the Death Star, and it's not going well. Those goddamn trash compactors, I tell you what. The last bit of news that I have, before we round back around, and hopefully Topher has a mic and maybe he has something to talk about, or we can just dive back into reminiscing about our wonderful childhoods.
Someone's getting arrested.
Somebody's... That must be... coming
Quick, mow your lawn.
That, yes.
That's the Westchester Police. I think the Hamilton.
Free Comic Book Day. Okay, so this is coming up relatively soon. And
Wait, free comic book in May? Or
Yeah. Are you talking about? You talking about Batman Day?
I'm
That's
sorry.
all-
I'm sorry.
9
Batman
months
Day.
ago.
I'm sorry. Batman Day is coming up soon. Free Comic Book Day, though, has obviously already come and went. But there was a mix-up with Diamond Comic Book Distributors is just now sending out some invoices related to shipping charges to retailers. So I found this. That's really loud, super loud. Whatever you're doing, Topher. You might not realize this. I certainly did not. But on Free Comic Book Day, when you go around to the different retailers and you can get your free comics, this is not because the distributors or even the creators of the comics, DC or Marvel, they're not issuing these comic books for free. The retailers still have to pay for these comic books. They're paying on average 20 to 60 cents per issue, plus shipping and handling charges on every book. So this actually costs the retailers. So that being said, I think that's even more of a reason to go out, support your local comic shops, especially on Free Comic Book Day. Go out, get your free comics, by all means, but buy a trade paperback. Buy something else. They have tons of sales. They'll make money on that stuff even though it's on sale. Buy something while you're there, because they are paying... They're buying all these comics just to give to the public. It's really kind of a goodwill thing that they're doing for the comic book fans, for our group of people, if you will. And they're really trying to build the community around comic books. So go and support your retail brick and mortar comic book stores next May when this comes back around, or even on Batman Day. When's Batman Day? It's coming up later this month, isn't it?
September 23rd, I want to say.
So go out and buy some shit then.
Oh wait, hold on.
But
I think I wouldn't be surprised. Let me find the email from my comic book store. But I wouldn't be surprised if today is Batman Day.
that's entirely possible.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yay, Topher's back. Or
Morning.
here.
Today is Batman Day.
Today,
afternoon,
as we
or-
are recording this, is Batman Day.
It is Batman Day.
So go buy some shit several days ago as you're listening to this. But the story here is that Diamond fucked up their invoices, and they're just now in September billing comic book retailers for shipping and handling charges from Free Comic Book Day all the way back in May. And this is apparently a pretty widespread, large billing error. And, comic book stores don't make a shitload of money. Surprise, surprise. They're not, they don't make millions of dollars a year. It's just not how it works. So for them to just get a random bill for $100, $200 can be a big, that could be a pretty significant added extra expense for them to just show up like that unannounced and unexpected. So, show a little love in the next week or two if you can. Go out, buy an extra trade paperback, buy a couple extra back issues or something, buy a statue, buy some figurines, a board game, whatever they've got, and help your brick and mortar stores out if you can. Yeah, I'm sure they would appreciate that. So
Diamond fucked something up.
no,
This is my shocked face.
how about that? Topher,
What's your O face like?
That's when it gets weird. Topher, we have a viewer that would like to know if you have a Green Ranger dagger within arm's reach. A Power Ranger, Green Ranger dagger flute. He's got it. He's got it. He's just trying to remember where it's at.
No, I was trying to come up with a clever way of
saying
getting
no.
around that. I have a poster with it pictured on there, but I don't actually have a physical.
Well, he
one.
never
No,
said
I
it
do
needed
not.
to be. He never specified whether it needed to be a physical manifestation of the dagger.
That is, I guess.
So you could
that's technically
you
true.
definitely
It was
Go around.
Geese Lord. It was Geese Lord Zero. Probably our biggest, most faithful fan.
I have a question for Geese Lord Zero.
All right.
Why did he choose to be the Lord of the Geese?
I would also enjoy hearing an explanation of where the name Geese Lord Zero came from. I'm interested to find out. That should be
Why not Sparrow Lord Zero or Pigeon Lord Zero?
Because geese are much more fucking hostile.
yeah, those bitches. They'll come after you, son. You do not fuck around with a goose.
Well, it's not spelled geese like the bird is.
No, it is not. It's
It's
I can't remember how he
Hey,
spells it.
this is our podcast. We can say whatever we want to say about our users and followers,
Wow.
which are all nice
looking
people.
to see now
which are
because
all
because I
great
remember-
people, and we love them. It's Geese.
'Cause you always-
Geass.
You always call him or her that, and
It's a
when I
him.
went and saw it,
Judging by
I
his mustache.
and when I heard you say that, I remember when I went and saw the comment, I was like, oh wait, why does Fox keep pronouncing it like that?
Well, I mean, it could be Geass Lord Zero.
What is it? GEASS, right?
Yeah. I mean,
There's,
it could be Geass
could-
Lord Zero.
No,
Or
there's
maybe he
there's
works.
an
Maybe he just likes butts and he works for GE and he's Geass Lord Zero. I don't know. I'm not trying to make fun of you. I really am not. We really do appreciate all of your support and you're a loyal listener for sure.
There's an anime called Code Geass. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's it's Code and then Geese Geas Gaz. I don't know.
I don't think it's gay ass.
Geass.
I'm just
I mean, that
throwing
would
that
be
out
confusing.
there.
I mean, in the English language, isn't it the first vowel does the talking, second one does the walking?
Oh, look at Pirate coming in with the first grade vocabulary lesson.
I'm not
I
having
haven't
the
heard-
smartest feller.
Drunk.
I haven't heard that one. How's that go?
First vowel does the walking. Second
Talking.
or no, first vowel does the talking. Second vowel does the walking.
What does that even mean?
It does.
I never learned that.
Are you serious?
never
You've never
learned
heard
that?
that before?
No.
Oh, shut up. Well, that explains a lot. Except for the problem that It's Pirate that always mispronounces and misspells shit, so I don't know.
I never said I knew how to use it. I just
Hey,
said I remember.
Pirate, what's that word? How's that word pronounced when two people fight hand to hand?
Fight, boxing,
Word for it.
pugilists.
MELEE.
It's
Oh,
pugilism.
yeah. How do you pronounce that?
It's pugilism, but what now?
Fisticuffs, good sir.
So
Fisticuffs.
I kept saying,
Fisticuffs, good sir.
I kept
Fisticuffs.
saying melee. I always
Oh,
said
melee.
And,
Yeah, no,
and
it's
then
definitely
Brian's
not it.
and Brian's like, no, it's melee, and I'm like, it's melee, motherfucker.
I used to bust your ass on that all the time until I just got tired of correcting
Melee.
you.
But I don't understand how it gets the melee.
Melee.
It's melee. It's me and Lee. Me
That's
and
the English-
Lee.
Because
That's
it's
the English
got-
language.
Because I think
You're
it's
wrong.
got. I think melee has French like origins.
Oui, oui. Si.
But
It's
yeah,
Gios, I believe.
Gios. That could be it.
Gios.
Okay.
It's from an anime. It's Code Geass.
I feel like he might have told us
remember.
this once, like 100 episodes ago. But to be honest, I just don't have the time or energy to dig through that many episodes to find the comment where he explained it. So if you can explain it again, that would be super cool.
At least I'm assuming it's from the anime.
I think
don't know.
that rings a bell. That sounds super familiar. So just to not to bore any of our viewers, but just to kind of do a quick recap for Topher on what we covered. We covered that Joe Manganiello is playing the DC cinematic Deathstroke. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie now has her own standalone film, which we can go into this a little bit more. We didn't really talk about that much. I think that's going to
She has her
be
own what?
fucking huge. She's signed on for her own standalone film.
Oh,
I think that's
I mean,
going to be massive.
how can that not go over well?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think they're going to make a ton of fucking money. I think that
whole movie,
will, if
movie
it's a
shorts.
good movie, there'll end up being multiple follow-ups, and I will say that movie will probably, very possibly, do better than the Justice League movie financially. That's how strongly I feel about that. For sure. Constantine, the TV show, is coming to DVD on October 4th, finally. And you were here
I
for
enjoyed that show.
the comic book. I did too. I'm really shocked that they didn't renew it for another season. It really sucks. I think it hit just a little before its time, to be honest. I think
it was.
it was just a little early because it was just right as Flash was coming out. Remember, it came out at the same time as Flash. And since then, we've had just a shitstorm of fucking other comic book TV shows. I think somebody's going to pick up this show. I think that
I
the
was
DVD
really
sales are going to be
surprised that
great, and somebody's going to pick it up.
CW didn't
Jump on it.
just take it.
I think
yeah.
I think it'll go to Netflix. I could see it going to Netflix, or maybe even like a Hulu.
Yeah, I don't know. But I keep hoping he'll make more appearances in the other stuff because I mean he was on an episode or two of Arrow.
Yeah, those were
after
awesome
that,
too.
and those were great. I loved his
Some of
cameo in that.
my favorite episodes actually, the ones where they went to hell, or the afterworld, or whatever they called it.
Spaghetti.
To who they saved Sarah, right?
Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cool the way they tied him in and oh man. I can't wait. When do those shows come back on? We're not far off, are we?
October.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like beginning of October or something.
Fuck yes, dude.
Or-
That's exactly what we need
someday.
because then we're gonna have some shit to talk about.
I've almost caught up and finished this last season.
I don't know if I've caught up on all the Arrows or not. I need to go back and check. I definitely have watched all the Flash episodes. Those are so good. And I think I watched all the Justice League, or not Justice League. Oh my gosh.
Tomorrow.
Yes, that one.
Legends
Legends
of
of Tomorrow. That one.
I've been watching everything in order again. I think I'm caught up to about May now.
Oh, it's
Dude,
hard though. For
we're
real,
so
there's
far
so
behind on
many.
TV.
There's so many fucking good shows. And then, like, another big one for me, it's not directly comic book related. I love Big Bang Theory. I know there's a ton of people that don't like it. I think it's hilarious. I really like it. It's one of those shows that it's not like a long-term storyline. It's very much, I mean, there are some aspects that are long-term, but it's very much like episode to episode. So I don't feel terrible if I miss one. You know, I can just pick right back up wherever. And they're funny, they're lighthearted. I love watching that show. So it's just another show that you have to fit in to the fucking ever demanding, oh my god, there's 30 fucking TV shows that sound good. I don't know, man. It didn't used to be like this.
My weakness is American Ninja Warrior.
Oh man.
You ever watch that show?
I don't
So
watch
fucking
the
good.
show, but I watch the clips on YouTube. Because you can watch, like, you can pick individual, like, events and people and watch just their runs instead of watching the whole show. Yeah.
See, I like the show, like the background on all the people, but I know the names of like everybody in that show. Like I've been following it since, God, I don't know, like 5 years or something.
What's the girl
like, I
that
started
just
watching
finished the first stage? Jessie Graff, is it, or something like that?
Yeah, Jessie Graff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty
She's,
fucking impressive, man. She's on
she's
Supergirl.
actually, yeah, she's a stunt girl on Supergirl. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the first woman ever.
She's amazing, dude. She fucking tore it up. I really like that show. I don't know why. Like, I mean, there's a Japanese version of that show that was the original called Sasuke, and it was like, you know, huge in Japan, and it's been on for like 10 years or something. And then, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, well, how many, are they seventh season, I think this was, of American Ninja Warrior.
Sixth, I think.
So they they got the license to do one over here, and I started watching it in maybe I think the second season, and I've been watching it ever since. And I don't know, like, it's just really cool, like, hearing some of the background stories on the people, and like it's kind of neat as a sport, like, to see, because there were a lot of shows, like, you know, like the wacky elimination thing, you know, like Wipeout, you know, where like random people like run through stuff and get knocked all over the place, and it was like, and they're like, oh, you know, they keep showing funny replays and like adding sound effects, and like those are
MXC.
Well, they were trying to be MXC ripoffs because MXC was hilarious, you know, but like they were trying to be silly and stupid, and they just didn't have any value to them, I feel like. But like American Ninja Warrior, I don't know, like, those guys are just so like dedicated to that sport, and there's actually like such a camaraderie there, and they're actually, you know, trying to be athletes, and they actually take it seriously, and I always just thought it was like really fucking cool. So I've been kind of like a super fan of that ever since it started.
I like it because they change the obstacles. Like, at each event, it's not the same fucking, like, you're gonna do this, then you're gonna do this, then you're gonna do this, then you gotta climb this wall, and then you gotta do this thing, and then that's it. You hit the buzzer. It's like different shit, and it's fucking weird shit sometimes too. Like, really strange, like, climb across this wall by holding on to fucking doorknobs, or like, you know, it's shit that you look at it and you're like, holy shit, that would be really difficult. I mean, some of it you look at and you're like, that might not be that hard.
You know, it's funny because I've seen some of those, and I'm like, I could do that one. I could totally do that one. No, there's no.
I bet you could do some of them for sure.
Well,
like the ones where you just run from pad to pad,
where you just stand there,
try and run across shit. But like, no,
the
it was
part
funny.
At the end
I was
where
at
you just hit the button. You could do that.
right. I can do that. When you walk up and you kind of go,
raise your arms and everybody's screaming your name. I could do that.
Exactly. I could do that.
The part where you fail miserably and fall into water, we could do that.
I could do that too.
Yeah, totally. We should have a comic book Nerd Nation Warrior challenge. Just a collage of us doing stupid shit, falling into water, like little baby pools of water.
First obstacle: defeat the dragon. Roll a 20 or higher.
Right.
Yeah, we could like do it like
We
a
could do that.
tabletop.
I could roll it.
We could do a tabletop dice roll like throughout a fucking Ninja Warrior dungeon fucking and then just try to make it through traps and.
I do have a D20 with it arm's reach.
Game Master, can I use the magical potion of levitation?
I got my
No,
dice
Brian,
bag.
you cannot
Let's
levitate
roll.
through the course.
Oh yeah, you
Let's
might have
roll.
a D20, but do you have a D100?
Yeah, it's a golf ball with numbers printed on it.
Right.
No, it's smaller than a golf ball.
No, it's not. Golf balls
Yeah,
have
it is.
100 divots on them.
Well, this is smaller than a golf ball. I'm telling you right now.
Well, you got
Maybe
ripped.
it's a mini
You got
golf
ripped.
ball.
You got ripped off. You could have just bought a golf ball. You'd have been straight.
Maybe it's a preteen golf ball. Still a golf ball.
Not to mention, a
Just hasn't grown
D100
up.
Yeah,
is
there you go.
ridiculously
Here's-
stupid.
Here's my D100, John.
Oh, you're yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a 30-sided.
The shitty
But-
thing about a D100 is how long fucking does it take to stop rolling?
It takes a while.
Yeah, that's stupid. I
Yeah,
ain't about
it
that.
doesn't
I ain't
stop.
about that life.
Roll to 24.
But
Oh,
Would you-
24 out of 100, you lose.
you have a D3.
I don't know. I might have a D3.
A
Let me see.
D3.
Or a D2.
The
Oh, yeah?
fuck is that?
Check out that D4.
Shut up. He has a two-sided dice.
It's a D2.
That
Oh my
is
God,
the
D3.
strangest motherfucking thing. Show me the D. I want to see the 3 again. I've never
It's hard to see the numbers on this one, but
2.
it's basically like a
Looks like a thing of silly putty.
it's like a triangle-shaped wedge.
Oh, so one side is long. They should have. You know what they
So,
should have done on that is they should have
That's like
done.
on. That's what it looks like on the end, on both ends, and then it's just got 3 faces. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. So it's rounded on the edges, so it won't ever land on the.
So when you roll, it lands like this, and whatever it says at the top.
Is the oh okay? That's cool. Huh. All right.
And
Well.
then the D2 is basically like a baseball. It's like
Yeah.
2 rounded sides. that
2
are flat
oblong sides with. That's cool. Well, that pretty much covers it for this episode. I'm
Nerd
Fox
alert.
too.
on.
Wow. We got Pirate.
D20 roll off pirate.
And we've got
10.
Topher.
17.
Damn.
And the whole effing Brian.
And nothing to roll.